try to reconcile or to see her. What makes it wrong?
When she moved to Bahamas, and she shared with me a story about how she took this walk in a neighborhood, and it was her first walk in the public since she was pregnant, and nobody bothered her. She was at peace.
She'd sometimes say to me, she said, "You don't know how evil people are," and she'd be in tears.
Everybody's trying to claim her. Everybody's taking advantage of her.
She really appreciated our openness and our friendliness and wanting to help her without, ulterior motives.
They were safe there, safe from anybody disrupting her family that she was trying to raise.
And she finally found a home and a family, something that she had never had.
Danny Lynn was born on September 7th, 2006.
When Danny Lynn was with her in Anna's arms, you could see the love when she'd look up and smile at her mom.
Vicky always wanted a little girl, and she wanted Daniel to have a little sister.
I remember Anna telling me how excited she was about Daniel coming.
Daniel was her rock, the one person in Anna's life. Out of everybody that came and went, there was always consistently in her life from day one, and it was always the one that kept her grounded.
The day that Daniel arrived and the time that they spent was magical.
He was very happy to be here, and he kept saying that he just couldn't believe he had a baby sister, and he couldn't wait to see his mom. This is one of the longest times that they've ever been apart, and he was coming out here to stay with us and to stay with his mom. He saw his mom, and he hugged his mom, and he picked up his baby sister like he'd been around babies his whole life, even though I don't think he'd ever really been around babies.
This was supposed to be the happiest time in Anna's life. She just had a baby, her son had come to the Bahamas, her family was together, she was starting anew, and then...
On Sunday, the 10th of September, 2006, around 10:29 a.m., Police Control Room received a call from Doctors Hospital, a private hospital on the island of New Providence, informing the police of the death of one Daniel Wayne Smith.
Daniel, in the Bahamas 3 days after Danny Lynn was born, drops dead.
They all went to sleep, and they woke up, and he was found unresponsive.
In the morning, Anna said, Howard, Daniel's not breathing. We called the nurses and said it was an emergency. And then medical staff just came rushing into the room, and they tried to revive him.
They were trying to resuscitate Daniel with regular mouth-to-mouth CPR, and when everybody gave up, Anna continued. They had to pull Anna off and sedate her to stop trying to resuscitate Daniel.
Anna screamed out, "No, no," and she just didn't want to believe that he had died. She was hugging Daniel's legs, and she was praying to Jesus, and she was telling Jesus to take her and not take Daniel.
Because everybody was sleeping, nobody had any way of knowing that there was a problem. Had it been detected in some way sooner, then it is very possible that interventive resuscitative measures could have saved his life.
She called me when the baby died, when my grandson died. She called me, and she was very upset, and she was crying, and she said, "Mama, Danny's gone."
I found out that Daniel died by television. We watched it on television. If you can just imagine turning the television on and seeing your family that they're dead, and no one goes over to tell you.
Now, in what was supposed to be a joyous time with that family has now turned tragic with the untimely death of her son.
Anna Nicole, I will tell you, is mourning. Just imagine that she lost her son, she's had a baby, she had a C-section operation, she's obviously in a bad condition.
The first night that I got there, it was just hundreds of photographers in front of her house. It was completely crazy, and I went in and I saw her. She was in a room, and she just looked at me and said, Patrick, he's gone. I can't believe he's gone. And she just cried in my arms.
It was difficult to be able to ration that you just had a baby and gave birth, for you to love that child and give your complete attention to, and the happiness that goes with it, and then unexpectedly and unfortunately, your other child passes away. It was wrong in so many different levels.
She has understood that there's an outpouring of sympathy for her, and she's glad, but she just wants to be by herself, be with her child, and mourn the loss of her son.
It really don't make any sense to me why someone so young and so full of life would die like that.
To date, the cause of death is not known. A death certificate has not been issued.
There was so much media and so much just craziness going on and so many false stories.
The idea of saying that somebody deliberately killed Daniel Smith, I think, is totally absurd.